She wants to know uh, tips for discovery writers. You don't plot in advance, and she feels like maybe she's not a plotter either. Can you give your best tips for discovery writers?
I do think, even as a pure discovery writer, I think it's still important to know a little bit of where you're going. So I traditionally know my beginning, I know my end, and I might have 3 or 4 scenes along the way that I'm like kind of excited about. But then, yes, I do discover along the way. And I think the key is really just understanding what the pitfalls are, right? The pitfalls are plot holes, right? If you haven't mapped it out, you might get 4 chapters in and be like, "Oh no, I killed that character off already, and I need them," and that's not fun. So keeping an eye on like, okay, I know I'm just letting the story unfold, but if I keep unfolding in this direction, these are the only 3 possible endings for me, right? And then the other thing that I remember being actually a big part of my writing process and learning how to be a better writer, and it was something that I think my first 2 novels that I queried and did not get published both suffered from, was they were very episodic, right? Because I was only writing a chapter at a time. I wasn't planning out the whole story. And so it kind of felt like this chapter is its own story and this one's its own story. And they didn't merge and link nicely the way a lot of plotted stories can, because they have a roadmap. And so I would just kind of keep an eye on what are the traditional weaknesses of that writing, but then enjoy all the strengths of being a discovery writer, because the strengths, in my opinion, are that you are giving your character room to steal the story, which gives them room to become real people, which makes them immensely likable by your readers. And so there's so many benefits to it as well. So I'll just be aware of your weaknesses and understand your strengths and kind of push forward knowing both of those things.
I love that. I definitely see that sometimes too, in critique groups and things where even plotted stories can fall into those same,
Mhm.
traps, like where it's like they plotted that this would happen, and then this would happen, less that this would happen, so this would happen, so this would happen.
Which is tough because I think we're so accustomed. We're in the era of like the greatest like TV show era of all time, which is often in episodes. And so, and even if they are nicely linked, we still have this like mental break between episodes so often. And it's hard to kind of get rid of that storytelling like mode, I guess. But yeah.
Yeah, I super agree.
If you enjoyed this video, we've got a lot more on writingmastery.com. Check the description for links to our blog, free writing tools, and more. Happy writing.